Today's the day, everybody. I'm so excited. Hello, everybody. This is Laura with McLeod Homestead, and welcome back to part 2 of our fermented olives. Now, as a refresher, back in September, I think it was September 18th, I received in the mail 10 pounds of whole olives that were fresh off of the tree. I have been storing them in just a saltwater brine for, well, September, October, November, December, January. 4 months it has been. And I tested one the other day, and they are ready for us to jar into other containers. And I am going to put some flavor in them. And then we're going to give them roughly a few days. And we're going to taste them. I am really excited. So far, well, hold on. All right, so I want to show you. This is what they now look like. Beautiful! These are beautiful. I am so excited. Now, unfortunately, I wanted to pit these. However, while it does now fit in my cherry pitter, it just does. Ooh-wee! That shot, look at that. It took it out horribly. However, it does show that they are soft enough. I think instead of taking the time to pit these, next year I am going to do this again. So I will get a better pitter. But, these olives are really, really good. So, what I'm going to do, now I am going to actually leave some of these olives plain like this and put them in a jar. But I am first going to show you what they look like in here, and then we're going to get them rinsed off and jarred into the containers. So everybody, come along with me on my journey. I am excited to have you here. Yes, I am very, very impressed with myself. Very, very proud of myself. And this is definitely a big hit with me, that I will absolutely spend the money later this year and order even more olives, including black olives. And I'm going to do this process again. Definitely worth the wait. All right. Come on, guys. Yes, let's go get this done. I wanted to show you that olive seed that went flying. I went and picked it up, and that is what it looks like. And I'm going to have to look it up. I wonder if maybe we can get this to sprout. Obviously, I'd never get any olives here, but it would be a cool experiment. So I am just taking the weights out of the big crock, and I'm going to start pouring the brine out. Look how beautiful these are. They're just awesome. While I rinse these off, I am going to put on the stove a half a gallon or 2 quarts of water with a half a cup of sea salt. I use natural sea. And I am going to just heat it up until the salt is dissolved, and then I'm going to let it cool. Well, I've got a half-gallon jar. This is not a quart. This is a half-gallon. Once I get a little bit in there, I am going to add fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, and then I am just going to continue to fill my jar. I am going to leave space here in my jar because I'm going to be covering these olives with the brine, and then I am going to put a layer of olive oil in here because that will help preserve it. In this jar, I have peels of an orange that I am going to put in here, and peels from a lemon. And then I'm just going to put the olives in. I don't have any more half-gallon containers that are clear, which is why I am using one of these brown colored. Halfway through, I'm going to put a little bit more lemon peel and a little bit more orange peel in. Now in this jar, I've got 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to use my weight, but you can actually use just a knife. But give it a smash, put it in our jar. Smash, jar. The reason why we smash it is it helps to release some of the flavor. And then we're just going to put in our olives. And I am going to also, in this one, put more of our lemon slices and our orange slices in. And I just use a potato peeler to make these slices, because you don't want too much. The flesh is where the flavor is, so you don't want too much of the other stuff. For this next round of olives, you might be in a situation where your grocery store does not have fresh garlic or fresh thyme or fresh rosemary or fresh oregano. What you can do is actually use your spices that are in the cabinet. In this next batch, which will be our last batch we put together of olives, I am using a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of ground thyme. And I will take a cup of extra virgin olive oil, warm it up just a tad, mix it all together, and then mix the olives in it. So that way the flavor gets put right onto the olives. I screwed up on this part of my video, but I, in this bowl, have a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of ground thyme, and I mixed it all in with a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and I've got it all mixed up. And now I'm going to add this to the jar. And that olive oil that's left at the bottom, dump it right in. One more step, everybody, after that, and then we can come back in a few days and we can taste these olives. Woohoo! I am so excited. So in here I have our cooled brine, which again is a half a gallon or 2 quarts of water with a half a cup of sea salt dissolved. Now, when I ladle these up, all I am going to do is put the brine right in. Again, we need to make sure that the olives stay underneath the brine. And we do not want air. So I will show you how we will take care of that as well. So now that I have the brine all in, I just use a chopstick. And I will just go through, just like when I'm canning. Make sure that all the air bubbles are out and that everything still stays covered. I am going to put some extra virgin olive oil. Just going to do a layer of it on top. So I have a layer of extra virgin olive oil on top just to help protect it from the air. As you look, you can see where the layer of oil is versus the brine. And now we will just put a lid on it. So I am just going to go through and get the brine on all of these jars. And I am also going to put the brine on the ones that have the olive oil already on them. All right, everybody, as you can see, I've got 4 of my 5 containers of olives sitting here on the counter. Over here, I've got 4 seeds. I'm going to look it up and see if I can't try and get them to sprout, just for fun. So these jars, I just marked the lids. Put them in the brine, give them a good shaking, and I'll probably shake them up every day, but I'm going to leave them on the counter for probably about a week, and then I'm going to bring you back and we're going to taste these. So until then, I will see you. Guess what day it is, everybody? It has been 1 week since we put these olives into the different flavors. And I am going to taste each and every one of them. Now, I will say, I'm not going to retaste the regular plain ones. I did that the other day. We know they taste awesome. But I want to try some of these flavors. How about you guys? Oh, and I want to tell you, as for the seeds, as I've researched, you cannot plant plants from a fermented seed. You must take and start it before you do any brining, fermentation, any of that. Just a little tidbit. The first one that I have is the thyme and rosemary one. I can taste it a little bit. Not too awful strong. Oh, these just taste so darn good. Not too bad, guys. Not too bad at all. Now, this next one is the lemon orange. That's a little bit of a different flavor. This flavor reminds me more of a flavor that I get out of the regular little olives that I buy in the store for about $1. Now this one is the garlic one. Oh yeah, you can definitely taste the garlic in it. It's not overpowering though. I thought it might be. I thought it might be overpowering, but it's not. Pretty good. Now, our last one is the one that we had put a bunch of different spices in and used the olive oil. You can taste the different flavors. This is really good too. Oh, good. And depending, like if you want to put it on a salad or put it in a salad, depending on the type of flavor you're going for, will depend on the type of olive. But these are definitely a good success. I am really happy and really impressed with myself. I am definitely going to be buying more olives. Oh yeah, definitely worth the cost by a long shot. All right, everybody. This is where I am going to finally end this olive video that has taken me months and months. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth the cost. Remember, if you want to stop the fermentation completely, dump the brine out, pack them in olive oil. If you want to slow it down, get them in the refrigerator. It'll still ferment, but at a very, very much slower rate. Thank you for coming and watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks, everybody. Toodles!